What's going on, YouTube friends and family? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great start to your week so far. I want to do a video today on some of the top fragrances from the house of Amouage that I'm looking forward to wearing this fall and winter, a little bit cooler weather. Now, of course, most of these fragrances you can wear year round. A lot of them are situational, like Royal Tobacco. I'll wear that any time of year. I know I'm having a cigar. Even Jubilation 40, you guys know from my past videos, I usually save the Jubilation 40 for cooler weather and the regular Jubilation 25 for summer. This got a little bit more woods to it. So this isn't like a guide of when you have to wear these fragrances, because again, a lot of these I can wear year round depending on the situation, but particularly for cooler weather, I feel like these from the house of Amouage go really well. And these are just some of the ones from my collection that I try to save for this time of year and wear a little bit more. So let's go ahead and start it off, guys. From the Library series, we have Silver Oud. One of my favorite fragrances from the entire house of Amouage. Really beautiful, smoky, ashy, slightly earthy silver oud note to it, as you would expect from the fragrance, but it's also got a lot of woods. I believe it has cypriol in there as well, patchouli. It's just really a beautiful fragrance. It's not going to be for everybody, but from the people that I speak with, at least on my channel, a lot of people have it as their favorite from the house of Amouage, or one of their favorites, and I can see why. It's something that is a very complex fragrance, and I do get very genuine compliments on this one when I wear it. Compliments not just, hey, you smell good or something. Like, people, and women especially, when they smell it on me, they genuinely want to know the name of the fragrance, who makes it, you know, how much it costs, where they can buy it, those sort of things. So anytime I get compliments like that on a fragrance, I know it's the real deal. And Silver Oud is just a wonderful fragrance, especially for fall time. So Royal Tobacco. Now, Royal Tobacco is definitely one of my favorites from the house. And if you guys watch any of my videos, you know I love tobacco fragrances. And this is one of the best, regardless of any house. You know, I love Triumph of Bacchus from Argos, Tobacco Sapphire from Boadicea. There's a ton of good ones out there, but this is one of the best ones. If you like the note of tobacco, along with fir balsam, woods, and licorice. You know, you got a lot of oud and musk in here as well, but that is the main component. It is a very sweet vanilla, very deep, rich tobacco, lots of wood notes, oud, musk, and of course you get those hints of licorice and fir balsam, almost like a Christmas type of smell. I've always said this really reminds me of smoking a cigar on Christmas morning. You know, when you got the cakes and the sweet stuff out, you know, maybe you're smoking a cigar on the porch. You got a beautiful tobacco note there. And of course the Christmas tree, if you like real Christmas trees, if you're not allergic to them. I always try to have real Christmas trees, but you get a little bit of that note in there as well. Very much a holiday fragrance for me. But of course, with it being a tobacco fragrance, I will even wear it in the summer or the heat sometimes if it goes along with the night. So another one, we'll get all the Library series out of the way here. And again, I have Reckless Leather, Wood Symphony, and Rose Incense. Especially Reckless Leather and Wood Symphony. They are a little bit lighter than the notes suggest, which is why they're not on here. They'd go perfectly fine for winter and the cool weather, but these in particular, because they're so heavy, I think they go a little bit better in the cooler weather. So King Blue, controversial fragrance, maybe a little bit like Silver Oud, probably because they, you know, share that similar oud background, that kind of oud assam, a little bit funky, smoky, earthy, animalic. This isn't anything like Silver Oud though in terms of the intensity of that note, and it's also a much more wearable oud. It's a fruity oud, so you got black currant, mandarin, pink pepper. Really makes it jump off the skin. If you want to, I mean, I've worn this plenty during summer, and I've gotten a lot of compliments on it, but it is a heavier type of fragrance, and for me, it just goes a little bit better in the cool weather. But with the opening notes, especially with the mandarin and the black currant, pink pepper, again, you know, this goes just fine in warm weather. It's just majority of the time I do save King Blue for a little bit of cooler weather there. And Jubilation 40. Now, as I was talking about earlier in the video, this is basically like 95%, if not more, of the exact same DNA that we all love from Jubilation 25. A little bit gourmand, like a little bit slight hazelnut and more woody note to it. Maybe a little bit more dense in the ambergris and oud. It's also got that beautiful honeyed black currant, blackberry, frankincense note at the top. But just because of the structure, the oil concentration, and just some of the reasons I just listed, normally the Jubilation 40 Extrait I save for a little cooler weather, just because it is stronger. It's one of those fragrances that it seems to go a little bit better in the cooler weather compared to Jubilation 25. just because of those extra notes in there, the woody notes, and a little bit of that kind of slight hazelnut gourmand note to it. But again, almost the exact same as Jubilation 25, just slightly different, a little bit more intense. So one of everybody's favorite or least favorite from the house. Some people do not like Overture Man. Some people think it's the best creation Amouage has ever done. And it is Christopher Chong's last parting piece before he left Amouage, which is why it is special to a lot of people. And it took me a little while to buy it. I didn't dislike it when I first tried it, but it's something that grew on me. And man, especially these newer batches, especially Overture, for me, this is just absolutely incredible. I actually preferred it to my older batch, and the reason is, again, they're like 99% the same. When you have natural fragrances, you're gonna get, little slight batch variations. For me, the cumin note is not quite as heavy on here, and it seems like the nutmeg and the cognac and the frankincense and the citrus stands out a little bit more than the cumin. Of course, it still shares that resiny base with the slight animalic leather in there. Just a very powerful masculine fragrance. I believe this is done at over 30% oil concentration or right near that. Very, very strong stuff. Again, absolutely wearing it for summer would be okay. I wore it for summer plenty of times dressing up. It wasn't overly strong, but just the vibe of this fragrance for me, especially with the nutmeg and the cognac accord and that slight kind of leathery animalic note to it in the bottom notes, base notes there. This really screams fall, dress up, date night type of occasion for me. And Overture is one of those fragrances that has just continued to grow on me. It really is an incredible fragrance. So thank you, Christopher Chong, for leaving us with that. And another one, Interlude 53, whether you're doing the Black Iris, regular Interlude, a little bit controversial like some of these other fragrances. Some people really, really love Interlude. They think it's the best thing that Amouage has done in the house so far. I'm kind of on board with that. But for me personally, of all the three that I have and all the three that I've kind of experimented with, Interlude, very good. Interlude Black Iris, excellent, slightly more wearable, less herbal version of Interlude, but Interlude 53 for me is where it's at. The richness, the oil concentration, it really adds a little bit more sweetness. And you think by making it 53% oil concentration, where Interlude was already a strong fragrance to begin with, I think that was done right around 25% oil concentration as well. But it's more or less just the notes in the fragrance. You get strong leather, opompanax, all the resins you would expect from Amouage. This has pimento berry, just a very, very complex fragrance that really blends in and evolves with your own scent throughout the day. Interlude 53 has always been one of my favorites from the house. You guys watch my Amouage videos, you know that just from the rankings. It's just a very addicting fragrance. And again, I have worn this during certain periods of time during the heat, but it just seems with the concentration and the structure of the fragrance that it just goes better in a little bit cooler weather. So last but definitely not least, this is supposedly a woman's fragrance from Amouage, and I think I'm not alone when I talk about how wonderful this is for guys, and this is Amouage Epic 56. Now this fragrance is one of my favorites from Sucille Zarokian. She has quite a few up here. I believe Royal Tobacco and Silver Oud are hers as well. But Amouage 56, it actually reminds me of an old Bond No. 9 fragrance called New York Amber. Has that very, very strong amber base with the florals and the pink pepper. This is much different. I'm not saying Amouage cloned, a Bond No. 9 fragrance, but I really enjoy those types of fragrances for cooler weather. When you look at a very warm, peppery, spicy type of fragrance with that strong resinous amber base, it just feels like a very nice, warm fragrance to wear in the fall or winter time. And Epic 56 is definitely that. It's strong, floral. You got a lot of stuff going on in the base notes. If you just look at the base notes of this, it's got the oud, like 3 different types of wood, musk. I'm not sure if it has ambergris in it. I don't remember. It may have ambergris in it. But if you just look at the notes on their site, they pack a lot of stuff in here. And it's nice because if you already have Epic Man, which I enjoy a lot, I wouldn't even say this is a better fragrance than Epic Man. Maybe just because of the concentration, you could say it's a better fragrance. They both go great on my skin. I enjoy them and get a lot of compliments on both. But they are completely different, very, very different fragrances, which is what I appreciate about this. Again, I can see why women would probably enjoy this. but it's definitely not just for women. So guys, you're missing out if you have not tried Epic 56. Very highly complimented fragrance. I know a lot of other guys enjoy it. At least that seems to be the consensus from people I've spoken with on my channel. So yeah, these are just some of the ones from the House of Amouage that I'm saving for a little bit and kind of enjoy wearing a little bit more during fall and winter time when that weather gets a little bit cooler. So leave your list below of some of your favorite Amouage fragrances to wear. It's always interesting to see what people have to say about this house. I don't know anyone who's probably going to have the exact same list. Very deep house, lots of offerings, and lots of strong opinions on Amouage, so let's hear yours down in the comments. Really enjoyed doing this video for you guys. Got a lot more coming for the channel, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye.